Hello, everybody. Hope y'all are having a great Thursday afternoon. Still morning for me, but we are almost there. Hang on one second. Getting all my ducks in a row here. We are now live. Thank you again for joining us today. Oh my gosh, what is happening? I'm skipping through all my slides. Let me start over. We are now live. If you're having some issues hearing, please make sure that your speakers are unmuted on your computer. We don't have a telephone dial-in for today's event. I'm your hostess, Leah Hartman. I'm a principal professional services consultant. I've been with the company for over 11 years and excited to come back again today and host our beautiful In the Know webinar. Currently still in Arizona, not in Tucson though. It is hot. Still, so I'm hoping it'll cool down soon. Just some housekeeping items, and I have some news and highlights I want to share with you guys before we move through. But navigating the Zoom webinar platform, if you are new here, we have a Q&A option down below. Please ask your questions down there. Chat has been disabled, just as an FYI. You can also find our handouts at www.intuit.me/ITK-handout-SEP23. And if you haven't figured it out, we got a pretty similar formula for all of our handouts. So hopefully that's helpful. As far as agenda goes, we're going to welcome you all in to talk a little bit about some CPE eligibility information. We'll review our learning objectives. Got some cool, fun stuff to talk about today. Actually go through the topics, and then we will end, as always, with your accountant resources and then close out the webinar. We are here for 60 minutes today, so just as a heads up, we appreciate it. We know your time is very valuable. Just really quickly, questions and feedback. Please use the Q&A section of the Zoom panel that's at the bottom of your screen, not chat. Chat should be disabled. We only ask that you submit questions that are related to today's content. There are a ton of you and just a few of us, and we're going to try to get to all of your questions as much as we possibly can for the content regarding today's webinar. Not all questions will be addressed, though. We will do our very best. And questions not answered during the webinar will be in the FAQ, should be available in your guys' handouts. We are not able to assist with technical related issues during today's webinar. Product is not working as designed, or you're getting an error of some sort, or you're having some technical difficulties or issues with the product itself. I will ask that you please contact our support team if you have technical problems at 888-333-3451. And again, if you have the handout, you should have access to this slide so that you'll be able to review it for a later time. Really quickly, for the CPE process, in order to receive CPE credit in each training session, you must be present for a minimum of 50 minutes to earn 1 CPE credit. Please be sure to answer all polling questions as we go through our content. If all or part of the requirements are met, your CPE will be emailed within 2 weeks following the close of the webinar to the email address that you registered with. Please note that it is coming from accountant_training@intuit.com. That is, so add it to approved contacts with your service provider so that you can get that CPE. As a friendly reminder as well, if there's a group of you trying to get CPE, make sure you're all individually registered for the In the Know so that you guys will each get those CPEs. Can't do it all together on the same email. With that being said, talk about some learning objectives really quickly. So today we're going to learn all about the fixed assets feature in QuickBooks Online Advanced. Hopefully you guys have seen it. We'll talk a little bit more and dive into that later in just a minute. Find out more about the new invoicing experience in QuickBooks Online Payments, and discover insights on how easily to switch from other payroll solutions to QuickBooks Online Payroll. So super exciting stuff that we're going to talk about today. Just as another friendly reminder, please access the handout at www.intuit.me/ITK-handout-SEP23. Before we get into our presenters, I do have just a couple of highlights that I want to share with you guys really quickly. So I'm just the messenger here, but if you guys are interested in a virtual conference, we are doing an Accelerate Growth with mid-sized clients using QuickBooks, October 11th through the 12th of this year. So that's next month. It is free to join. If you're interested in this conference, please check out the link today. The link that says register today on this particular screen. You can earn up to 12 CPE credits, a lot of really great information, how to broaden your services you offer, how to grow your client base, and boost your revenue by adding those mid-sized clients into its definition of those mid-sized clients, bigger clients, right? If you're interested in learning more, please be sure to register. You can also register at qbtrainingevents.com if you're familiar with that portal. So if you guys are interested, please sign up. Again, it is free. And just as a heads up, we do have an update on your ProAdvisor discount for QuickBooks payments. So heads up for those that are offering discounts for your clients and their QuickBooks payments offerings. Your new clients can automatically receive your ProAdvisor discount for QuickBooks payments. You no longer have to call sales and apply the discount directly from QuickBooks Online Accountant by sharing a customizable link for your clients to sign up. You can find the link on your ProAdvisor benefits page. Simply go to the discount section in the QuickBooks payments and then select share info. You can send the detailed information page to your clients by selecting the copy page link. Currently only available for some accountants at this time. Please know that full availability for everybody, the rollout should be late fall 2023. So my guess would be, as long as there's no hiccups or bumps, we should have it rolled out before the end of the year. So keep an eye out on that. So if you don't see the link, you'll have to keep calling in. Otherwise, once you do get that link, you'll be able to share that, no longer have to call in. Makes it really nice and easy. So that's it for that I have for updates. I'm going to go ahead and move on to fixed assets in QuickBooks Online Advanced. And I do believe I have my good friend Manuel here, who's going to introduce himself and get started on presenting what you have to share with us on fixed assets.
Thank you, Leah. Yeah. Hi, guys. I am Manuel. I am the product manager responsible for fixed assets, which have just launched in QuickBooks Advanced. Fixed assets is something that we've been hearing about for a long time, and we're very excited about our recent launch. And I just want to first set some context about what we've heard about fixed assets, what we've needed, and what we've done with it so far. So we've heard from accountants, customers, that managing depreciation for fixed assets usually takes a lot of time, requires a lot of manual workarounds, spreadsheets, posting manual journal entries, and that leads to a lot of wasted time, right? And those workarounds, which are usually spreadsheets or third-party apps, also lead to the problem of having data that's segregated from all of the data that you already have in QuickBooks. So our goal with the feature was to, one, automate all depreciation accounting that you have to do with for fixed assets, have reports that are always up to date and at a single click away, and then reducing the risk of inaccuracies and lack of compliance that those manual entries can potentially cause, right? So the solution that we built focused on those three problems first, along with making onboarding fixed assets to our fixed asset feature as seamless as possible. So this is essentially what we've seen of how managing fixed assets worked before having the fixed asset feature in QBO, right? So initially, you'd have to build out your schedule, have a spreadsheet with a list of all of your assets. That takes a lot of time, especially if you're running depreciation methods that are a little bit more complicated than straight line. And then if you're posting those depreciation expenses every month, you also have to go in to QuickBooks and then post those depreciation entries manually, which also takes time, right? So on average, from our research, we've shown that per month, you would spend 5.8 hours per company considering asset acquisitions and then posting journal entries for managing those depreciation entries. And that adds up, right? Especially if you think about it throughout the useful life of an asset that can last 5, 6, 10, 50 years, that adds up. So we now built a solution that reduce those steps to 4 simple steps that you can use to onboard your fixed assets. And then after those assets are onboarded, you essentially do not have to touch them again to manage depreciation accounting. That will all be solved for you through our feature, and I'll show you how it works now. So this is what we're calling the Fixed Asset Hub, where you find all of your fixed assets that you have onboarded. And now I'm going to show you how to onboard an asset to fixed assets, right? So you go in, you open this drawer, you type in all of the details for your fixed asset. You can set a class or location to it. And then you type in all of the details that are linked to the depreciation, right? So the purchase price, the salvage value, the useful life. You choose the depreciation method. Currently, we support straight line, 150% accelerated, and double declining. And then you choose a depreciation start date. If you choose a depreciation start date that's in the past, meaning that that asset already has accumulated depreciation linked to it, QuickBooks will calculate that amount for you. And then you just have to make sure that this amount matches what you currently have on your books. Otherwise, you'd have to make an adjusting entry to make sure those match. Afterwards, you choose the asset account where the asset is in your general ledger, the depreciation expense account, and then the accumulated depreciation account. You do that, and then you're set. You hit save. And I was actually slower here than I am now, but you hit save. And then we create the schedule automatically for you. You do not have to worry about creating the schedule on a spreadsheet. And we tell you the amount of accumulated depreciation that you should have for that asset, and there's the schedule. That's all fine and dandy, but where's the benefit, right? I'll show you that an additional step here. You can also add multiple assets at once, copying from a spreadsheet. Right now, we do not support importing from a CSV file, but we will very soon. And then after time goes by, and then those depreciation expenses are actually incurred, if you go into your schedule and click on a specific date, you'll get to see the actual journal entry that was posted for you. So this is what the feature automates for now. And on top of that, we also have the fixed asset report, which is essentially a depreciation expense report, where you get to see all of the depreciation expenses that you have for your assets, either for a current period of time, or that can also be forward-looking based on the time period that you choose. So this is what we have now for fixed assets. This is our first iteration of the feature. It has been launched for a month now, and it's available for all US advanced customers. It's going to roll out to Canada and UK soon. And the one thing that we wanted to hear about from you is, on top of the features that you've seen here in the demo, what are the other things that you'd like to see in a fixed asset feature? This is the first iteration of the feature. It solves the most basic problem, which is depreciation accounting. But we've identified a few other features that would be must-haves for us. And I'd like to hear from you guys which of those are more important for you. So either tax depreciation support, because now we only support book depreciation, a disposal report, a reconciliation report, so you can reconcile between the register and your chart of accounts, or fixed asset management, which is actual physical asset management, such as tracking maintenance, asset usage, and stuff like that. So have we launched the poll?
Have we launched the poll? Yeah. Let's make sure we get that poll launched. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. So I know that there's a ton of questions that people are already asking. What do you think is going to lean one way or the other with these answers? And guys, remember, if you need the CPE and it's not on there, at least pick a question and then write your comments in the Q&A below. But what do you think, Manuel?
I think that tax depreciation is something that we've heard a lot about as well. Book depreciation is very important, and it's why we chose to tackle that first. But Listerd and ProConnect also do tax depreciation, and a lot of people ask about integrating QBO and those two to products.
Mm.
So I feel like that's going to be one that people are excited about as well.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm curious to see what the folks on the call have to say as well. And it does look like we have a pretty decent, evenness across the board here, but it looks like tax depreciation support is definitely up there on the top tier.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Do you have, was that the end of your presentation or did we have some
Oh,
Q&A?
yeah. Oh, no. I'm sorry, I forgot about.
Okay.
I forgot that we
No,
had
you're
Q&A. Q&A after the poll.
It's all good. Manuel, thank you so much for your presentation today. I do have a few questions for you that I want to just make sure we address on the call. I know you've already mentioned these, but just as a friendly reminder to those that are listening, is this currently available to just US, and what is the plan for Canada?
So this is currently available for advanced in the US. The plan is for us to launch a beta version of this in Canada within the next month. And the same is true for the UK, all in advanced.
Perfect, thank you. And some folks are asking, is there any option to look into providing this tool to other versions of QBO like Plus, or is it strictly just QBO Advanced?
For now, this is strictly advanced. We've heard a lot of users requesting the feature in other versions of QBO as well, and this is currently being discussed, but for now, advanced only.
Makes sense, makes total sense. I had another question here, where did it go? There it is. So I did see some questions around tax depreciation. So currently, our fixed asset the fixed asset tool in QBO Advanced is only book depreciation. Did I understand that correctly?
That's right. Yes.
So tax, is it coming or?
Yeah. Oh, so tax depreciation is something that is coming, and as all of you know, tax depreciation is much more complex than book depreciation. There's federal and state depreciation for us to account. There's different methods. So this is something that we've been working on. We wanted to launch the feature for book depreciation first because it already solves a big problem. And tax depreciation is going to take us a little bit more time to build. But as it is on a roadmap, and we should launch before summer next year, but it's still gonna take a while. But within the year, it should be available for everyone.
Perfect. And there was a couple of questions around the functionality. Hang on, I was trying to find it. There's a lot of really good questions in here. So there was a question around being able to add multiple. Oh goodness, I missed it. Advanced only. Can one enter the fixed assets retroactively, or does it only apply to new purchases?
No, you can enter existing assets as I've shown for existing assets with prior accumulated depreciation. QuickBooks will calculate that amount for you. The only thing that you have to do is make sure that accumulated depreciation amount that the feature calculates matches what you currently have in your books. If that's not the case, if you don't have anything or if it doesn't match, you do have to make an adjusting entry to make sure that you do not over or under depreciate using the feature, but we support both new and existing assets.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I see a few questions regarding different types of depreciation schedules. Can you talk to that, Manuel?
Yes, so currently we support, because we support, and I've seen one talking about makers as well, and that will come once we support tax depreciation. So a lot of those methods are more related to tax depreciation, not book. For book depreciation, we decided to support the three methods that are mostly used by our customers, being straight line, 150%, and then double declining. But once we add tax, we'll add those additional methods as well. So makers, ACE, bonus depreciation, Section 179, all of those will be there. For book, for now, we do not anticipate adding additional methods.
And then from a tracking perspective with fixed assets, what kind of tracking are we tying this into with QuickBooks Online, like classes, location, tags?
So we have support for classes and locations. So all of the depreciation expenses that QuickBooks will automatically create will be created under the classes and locations that you choose when setting up the asset. Tags are not supported, but classes and locations are there. On the report that you've seen, currently you cannot group by class and location, but that's also coming. So if you need to see specific information for a specific class or specific location, you'd be able to see in the report very soon as well.
And could you just remind the folks, what reports do we have currently available for this feature? And again, guys, only available in US and advanced as of right now.
So currently we have one report. It is called the fixed asset report, but functionality wise, it's essentially a depreciation expense report, right? So we're focusing on depreciation accounting. And then with that report, you're able to see both the accumulated depreciation, net book value of your assets, as well as the depreciation expense for any period of time that you want to look at. In the future, once we support disposal, we're also going to have the disposal report or additions and subtractions, which will allow you to track purchases and asset disposals in one single report. So we're going to have those two. As far as a reconciliation report goes, this is something that we're hearing about more recently, and we're exploring how we're able to build that and whether we'll be able to release that soon. But I'll get back to you guys on that. On our current roadmap, we have the depreciation expense report, which is already live, and then the disposal report is coming soon.
Manuel, thank you so much for your time today. I know we got to keep rolling, but if you have an opportunity to answer questions in the background while we're still continuing, that'd be wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Deep. Deep, whenever you're ready, if you want to come on screen and share and introduce yourself, we're going to get on to the next topic.
Awesome. Good morning and afternoon and evening, everyone, for the different time zones. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And can everyone see, Leah? Am I good to go?
Yes. Do you mind putting it in slideshow? Yeah, there you go. Sorry. You were already doing that.
Awesome. So hello, everyone. Again, I'm Deep, product manager on the QuickBooks Online invoicing team. And we are on a mission to make the best invoicing platform that takes the hassle out of getting paid and managing accounts receivables. So today I'm very excited to talk to you about all the new invoicing experience and our rollout plans. So what was wrong with the old invoicing experience? The problem was that we could not fulfill our aspirations for the future, that mission that I just talked about. The tech was getting outdated, the performance was not what we wanted, and there was no space left to build all the new features that you all wanted. So we built the new one, which is going to be the foundation of our new AI-driven expert platform in the future, and it is built with you, the experts, in mind. You can see we created a more intuitive and simpler UI. We've been able to build with breakthrough velocity. The new invoicing experience, for example, offers you more ways to get paid, such as PayPal or Venmo. It has live previews of what you send out, and we're taking the pain out of chasing AR, with real-time tracking and smart reminders. Our platform is also, as an icing on the cake, way more performant and with even faster page load times and time to completion. Very soon, we'll be rolling out some AI native features that we can't wait to tell you about. But let's see what's live to customers today with a very quick sneak peek in real company. So this is the new invoicing layout as you and your clients would see it today. You can also click on take a tour for a quick guided tour. I will just go ahead and create an invoice. So we'll start by adding a customer. I can set the terms that I want, add a few custom fields, set the location, and add some products or services. Now we change the layout based on feedback from you, our experts and accountants, to make it more data entry friendly and more easily scannable. So I'll just add a quick shortcut for the date. Add a product that I want to invoice, change the quantity a bit, and looks like this is looking good. If I want, in the new and redesigned templates, I can quickly change how my invoice will look. So I can change the colors. If I have templates that I created in the old invoicing platform, those are also available for me to use. I can see real time what my payer or customer will see. This is the email that they will receive. I can also see if I want to print out or send a PDF, this is what my customers will get. In real time, I can make changes here to make sure my customer sees exactly what I want them to see. In the peer view, I can select all kinds of different payment options to make sure that I get paid. Let's add a tip to this one. I think I did a great job. And with the invoice done, I'm ready to review and get paid. And I know that invoicing, getting paid on this will be a breeze, and so will reconciliation be. So we'll begin rolling out this new experience for Simple Start customers in the US beginning October 16th. Any of you who have a client attached in this bucket would have received an email from us a few weeks ago, proactively informing you about this upcoming change. Other SKUs and geos would follow subsequently, and you'll be the first ones to hear about it well ahead of time. Meanwhile, we'll continue to build net new AI native features that would make your job as trusted experts much more easier. So we saw the new intuitive layout, we saw the new payment methods, we saw the live preview, and we hinted at some upcoming AI releases. So what's not here? You might be wondering, or you might have read in our email alerts about some features that you don't see yet. And we want to let you know that we will be building them out to make sure they're supported before we do the final rollout for the respective SKUs. You will have access to all the essential features that are accustomed to using. In the next few months, you'll see us launch, for example, here, multi-currency, progress invoicing, recording an invoice deposit. Now, there are some additional features that are used by a fraction of a percent of users, and they would not be available immediately. But we'll be building better workflows for these as we continue to iterate on this. We want to make sure that you're delighted every single time you have to invoice for yourself or your clients, and we'll build what you need. So I just wanted to reiterate that you, our experts, are our flagship customers that we're building this for. Very soon, if you don't have it already, you'll get the ability to try out and switch to the new experience. We've created a bunch of resources to help you out with it. I hope you have these in your handout, and we would be very eager to hear from you and take your feedback. Feel free to go to this link, intuit.me/new invoice, and sign up for a quick chat with us if you have any questions or feedback to give directly to the team building it. So I'll leave you all with a Q&A, and we'll be happy to hear and answer some of the questions that the group has.
I think we got a poll question first that we want to get up. What would increase your likelihood to recommend the new invoicing experience? If you guys can choose one, if you're interested in CPE. If there's not an option on there that you like, please feel free to pick one still, and then put your comments in the Q&A so that we can gather that feedback. I like the new invoice experience. I think it looks really clean and really nice. I know that, you know, from a technical perspective, we needed it. But this has been a long journey, to a long time coming. We've been talking about this new invoice experience for quite some time. I think we're just kind of accelerating the rollout. Is that what I'm kind of understanding?
That is correct. We have been on the journey, and you all have been part of it for a long time. We have built features, and we have been adding customers and migrating customers who have been using those features from this customer back lens. And now when we talk about the rollout, we are talking about making this permanent. The singular invoicing experience so that you don't have a fragmented landscape across a product of seeing two different things, an old school gray screen and this modern one.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. We should have that poll closed out here shortly, guys, so make sure you get that question answered here. It does look like we have a pretty big slide on the answers that we've gathered here. So it looks like more training, resources, and practice with the new experience is really what it's going to take, which makes total sense. Change can be hard sometimes, right? And the only way to get through that is to keep practicing and seeing it and getting used to it.
Absolutely. Plus one to that, and we have tagged a few of the resources that we have put out in our slide on resources. Feel free to check them out, and there'll be much more coming soon.
We do have a couple questions I'd like to address live, if you don't mind. I think there has been just a little bit of confusion on the rollout. I know we talked about Simple Start being rolled out as of October 16th. Can you just remind folks what that meant timeline-wise for other versions of QBO in the US?
Yes, that's a great question. So I'll address it in two parts. What does the rollout exactly mean? Because the previous one said that we've been on this journey. You've had the option, some of you have had the option to try it out. What's new with this rollout? And the second part is, when do we move to the other SKUs, Essentials, Plus, and Advanced? So by the rollout, we will migrate everyone over to the new experience, and that will be the singular invoicing experience that they will have. That's what this rollout would mean. It'll start with Simple Start on October 16th, and subsequently we'll do it for Essentials, Plus, and Advanced over the course of this and the next year. So we have not announced dates so far, but you will hear it at least 75 days in advance from us via email. So as soon as those dates are ready, you'll hear about it. And I can just say from that 75-day number, it's not 75 days from now.
I love that. Yeah, and that makes total sense, right? Like, as we've kind of talked before in the past, changes happen, rollouts kind of are flexible, if things aren't running smoothly. So good news is we're starting to roll out with our Simple Start users, and then eventually over time, we will announce when those other versions of QBO will get that change, and that hey, we're changing and can't go back. So keep a lookout on your emails, folks. I know we get a lot of them on a daily basis, but those notifications will definitely come through once they launch and announce those times. Where is another question here? So sorry, I'm going back and forth. Someone was asking questions around sales receipts. So we're talking about the new invoice and estimate. Is this also going to be in conjunction with sales receipt functionality, since it is similar to accounts receivable tracking?
Absolutely. So to answer this question, and that's a great question, if you are migrated over to the new invoicing experience, all your sales forms are also refreshed with all the benefits that I was mentioning earlier. So it's a better, more reliable, more extensible platform, more performant in every single way. The sales receipt and the other sales forms, apart from invoicing and estimates, look pretty much right now the same as the old one, but be sure that under the hood, it's a much better system. And we'll be rolling out new designs for the sales receipt and other sales forms as well. So they're coming.
Thank you, Deep. For in sticking with the same similar question for sales forms, is there going to be any change to statements, like being able to customize them with this new estimate invoice interface? Or do you know?
Yeah, we have not made any changes to statements, and there's perfect backward compatibility with our existing statements and all reporting and analytics functionality. So unplanned, but we'd love to hear if you have any suggestions or feedback for us.
Yes, we love feedback, guys. You might not believe it, but we do. We really do. We like to know what you guys think. Let's see. Oh, do you happen to know how this new invoice experience is going to affect third-party integrations? Is it going to interrupt service, or should it be a smooth transition? Do you have any insight on that aspect?
That's a great question. and I may not be able to answer it fully on this call, but I'll give a brief headspace of where we are at. So we think of this as an ecosystem. An ecosystem is often outside our product. It's a third-party Chrome extension. It's a third-party app on our app store. It could be anything. So we want to be incredibly supportive of all third-party applications that enhance or layer onto our invoicing platform. And that's our goal and mission towards this. So we are in talks with some of these third-party developers to make sure that they have what they need to build their features and functionalities on top of the new invoicing experience. And we'll continue to reach out to more and more to make sure that all existing integrations come up, especially as we roll on to the higher SKUs where more of these become prominent.
Yeah, complexity comes into play and all kinds of stuff. So that makes total sense. And, you know, I'm sure folks that integrate with us, right, the developer website will stay in touch with them and make sure that things are still working smoothly. So probably would be more individual to that app than an overgeneralized statement. So 100% agree with you on that. I had somebody ask if you would be able to kind of clarify what classic sales tax not supported means. Would you be able to kind of go over that really quickly?
Oh, yeah, very happy to. And I will also kind of provide an update, which shows how things are moving super fast here. So classic sales tax is the legacy sales tax module where you could essentially a free-form input field, enter what you want, as opposed to our modern automatic sales tax, which is what you see in new invoicing, which is kind of a smarter, quicker way to add sales tax to your product, services, and all sales and expense forms. We will be supporting very soon the customers who are accustomed to using our classic sales tax or just the old version of sales tax, which existed in our legacy invoicing system. And we'll be rolling out in the coming few months for all of our customers. So just reiterating, classic sales tax is the old version of sales tax, and all customers who are using that can be reassured that they will be rolled out or migrated over only when all of this functionality is fully backwards compatible with the new one. But thank you so much for that question.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification too, because that's super helpful. I think some folks use the word manual sales tax, so I'm glad we were able to kind of get the close the gap on that. Can you just remind folks if you can or cannot switch between the new invoicing and the classic invoicing once we start this rollout with Simple Start?
After the rollout, customers will not be able to switch back to the old invoicing experience.
Some folks have access to this new experience and are able to switch now, I'm assuming, but they won't be able to moving forward.
That is correct.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. So we're moving towards the new interface and we're going to stick with it once we start that rollout next month, guys. Awesome. I don't know if there was any other ones that I had for you, Deep, off the bat, but thank you so much for coming on. I know we've talked about this new invoice estimates over the last, I'd say since I've been hosting last year and a half. So really excited that we're kind of just like making the plunge and doing it. So thank you again. If you have an opportunity to answer any questions on the back end that I missed, please feel free to do so. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next presenter. Thank you, Deep.
Thank you.
All right, I've got Venki, who is going to talk a little bit about our next topic here. So you are free to start, my friend.
Okay. All right. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to present on automated setup for switchers. Before we get into it, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Venki. I'm a senior product manager at Intuit. I work for the Workforce Solutions team. So we deal with payroll, time, and employee benefits. I've been with Intuit for 3 years, and I'm based out of Mountain View in California. So excited to be here. So let's get right into it. Okay, we'll start off with a poll. We want to know what is the most painful part of payroll setup for you. I think I have a hunch.
Me too. I actually supported our payroll products, our online payroll products, before moving into the accountant space many, many moons ago. But I supported the do-it-yourself back when we used to have that. And boy, oh boy, there were some tough setup stuff that we had to deal with. A lot. Awesome, guys. Don't forget, if you would like your CPE, please be sure to answer the question below. If you don't see an answer that you like, please at least pick one, put your name or your comments in the Q&A so that we can get that feedback. But we're going to go ahead and close it out here probably within the next 15 seconds or so. Yeah, it looks like we've got some pretty apparent winners here. Setting up the taxes, as we know, can be tough. There's a lot of parties involved, as well as pay history.
Okay. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. We have understood payroll history to be a particular pain point for sure, and that is probably what we tried to set out and solve. Yeah. So what we heard from you is that adding employees and pay history is the most painful part of setup. And right now the poll looks like pay history does resonate as a painful part with all of you. There is a lot of manual entry involved, and you have to add the details for all your team. And if you have already run payroll, then you have to add your open quarter paychecks and your year-to-date totals and a lot of details that you need to have ready before you can set your customer up. If you have a lot of employees, if a client has more than 10 or even 50 employees, this is a particularly painful part of setup. So this is what we wanted to simplify for you. So what we have done is an ability to import your details from 3 of our biggest competitors, ADP, Gusto, and Paychex. We can have you upload your payroll reports, and your payroll data comes through automatically. What this also enables is that you don't have to wait until January to onboard your clients onto QuickBooks. You can do it in the middle of the year, and the amount of manual entry would be reduced a lot by this workflow. So who can access this? All QBOP customers in setup can benefit from this. Of course, for elite customers, there is an expert service where an expert will do it for you. But be it core, premium, or elite, the customers and the accountants can all access the uploading of payroll reports to get a head start on payroll setup. It's fully available for Gusto and ADP. It has been available since August 15. Paychex is a partial rollout at the moment, and we will fully roll out pay history import for Paychex as well, and that should be coming soon. How can you access it? From Payroll Overview, we have your setup tasks when you first join QuickBooks Payroll, and in your setup task, the third task is adding your team, and that is where you see the option to upload your reports. So we have a ton of help article available for you as well. So I will move on to what that experience looks like on a high level. So on a high level, we want you to skip all the typing and upload your payroll reports. So when you click add your team, we ask you if you're migrating from ADP, Paychex, or Gusto. If you are from one of these 3 providers, then we give you instructions on how to download the reports. So that is something that you need to follow for you to be able to use this feature. We ask you for 2 types of reports. One that has all the team details like address and tax filing status and their pay rates, deductions, contributions, and so on. The second is the pay history report that actually tells how much you have paid every employee year to date. So once you follow the instructions and upload the reports, you can click next. And then in that workflow, if there are things that we don't understand, we let you decide what that is. So there is a mapping of both pay items as well as tax items. So once you map it for us, there is almost no chance that we make a mistake in understanding any of these items. So even though it adds some work to you, it also makes sure whatever we are bringing in is as accurate as possible. And then we give you the chance to edit any of these. So we take you through the team employee profile as well as the pay history. So if you feel something is not right, you have the chance to edit it. With that, let me show a video of how it looks in the product today. Yeah, so this is your payroll overview page, and the task where this workflow starts is tell us about your team. So when you click start, this is the first question we ask. So we have taken the example of Gusto here. But if you belong to one of these three providers, we have the automated workflow. Like I said, ADP and Gusto is fully available. Paychecks, there is a partial availability for bringing in your team details, pay history sums. So we tell you the benefits of uploading a report, and then this is the screen where you actually upload your reports. If you feel this is too much work or you have, let's say, only one employee, we give you the ability to go manually as well. But we highly encourage using the report uploads so that you are able to reduce the manual efforts. So in this example, we show what the Gusto report looks like. And that is the report being uploaded. Again, this is the pay history report, which has all the year-to-date pay at every paycheck. So once you hit next, depending on the number of employees you might have, it could take a few minutes. So in this example, we have 2 team members, so it's done fairly quickly. Yes, so we drop you on here. So this is, you might already recognize this, where you can go inside every employee profile and see complete them. So you'll notice a lot of the details have already come through, and if there's something not coming through, you can go ahead and add it manually. The things that we don't bring in today are social security and bank account numbers. So that is something that is usually masked in reports, and you'll have to add manually. So so that is the first part of the import process. The second part is bringing in your pay history. So this is the task, and we'll skip over the tax task, and we'll go to the pay history task. So at this point, the reports, we are not fully intelligent on all the tax types and pay types that are coming in. So in this point, we are asking you to help us map some of the tax types, especially the ones that we don't understand. If there are tax types we already understand, that is already mapped on your behalf and all the numbers brought in. So one by one, as you go in and match the tax types, we exactly know what those numbers correspond to. You click next, and you do this for all the tax types that are there. You can go ahead and edit it if you feel you made a mistake. Yeah. So we encourage you to map, be it tax types or earlier in the flow, there was pay types as well. We encourage you to finish the mapping so that we are able to bring all the team details accurately. So now that you have helped us say what is what in the report, you'll notice that the pay history has already come in. And when I click at it, you'll see the number of fields that we already brought in from the report. So this is for an employee who only has been paid in the close quarter. If this employee has been paid in both close quarter and open quarter, they would have twice the number of fields, and all those fields are now coming in from the report. If for some reason it doesn't feel like it's matching what is there in your report, you can go in and correct any of these numbers. But that was what we have available for you. We think this would be a much simpler workflow for you and will save you a lot of time. So with that was the experience. Again, we have a feedback widget. If there are some parts that don't seem to be working, we always try to monitor and improve the accuracy, but we think we have heard customers say that this is a experience that is very useful for them and saves a lot of work. So that's my presentation.
Thank you. I really appreciate the information you provided on payroll. We have a lot of questions around, right, we talked about third-party payroll services. So the big question is we know that desktop, QuickBooks Desktop and payroll, you know, there are products they import into QuickBooks Online, but payroll seems to be kind of a stressor still. Like it's not always 100%. It doesn't always come over correctly. Is there any, are we looking into maybe using some of this to implement in moving from desktop to online, or is that a whole nother can of worms that is not associated with this?
Yeah, so we are trying to bring synergies in desktop and third-party migration. So at the moment, we do realize that the pay history breaks for customers, especially if they don't map some of the pay items we ask them for. I think a lot of inactive employees do come through for desktop migrators, which causes a lot of work. So we are actively working to improve that experience. And we think some of the goodness of the import capability on the back end will transfer over to desktop as well.
Okay, that makes sense. We've got some folks asking, when is this payroll feature going to be rolled out? And then is it available for all levels of payroll, online payroll?
Yes. So for ADP and Gusto, it has already been available since August 15. For paychecks, it will be coming soon, the fall. So that is the answer for when. And this is available for core, premium, and so all plans of payroll.
Okay, so far there's only 3 third parties, ADP, Gusto, and Paychecks. Did I get that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, pass the test. Thank goodness. We had a question around time. How long would it take for you to import the team detail, like in a real-time basis? Is it pretty instantaneous, or does it take minutes?
So is it once you upload the report, or are you talking about the end-to-end workflow? So I can answer both. The end-to-end workflow should take about 10 or 15 minutes, but it depends on the amount of customers you have and amount of pay types you have to map. But we think something that would take hours would now be done in minutes. The only request would be to follow the instructions on how to download the report and download that format of report exactly. That makes the downstream process much smoother.
That's nice. That's actually not bad at all. I had a question here talking kind of about verifying that the information that gets imported is correct. Is there human verification of this import? And so the question is around like for Elite, for example, you get customized onboarding with an actual payroll rep. Is there going to be any type of that verification with these import processes?
No. So for Elite, there is human verification, and there is a service that the customers can avail free of cost, and they are actually making sure the details are correct. But for people Elite customers who choose not to use the expert onboarding, or for core and premium customers, it's the user who has to do it. So if you're doing it for your clients, you will have to make sure that the details are correct. We try to flag any inaccuracies, or if there are pay types we don't understand, or tax types we don't understand, we flag it and bring it to you. But the end numbers and making sure all the spellings are correct and those sort of things, we leave it to the user.
Makes sense. That makes sense, right? That's the benefit of upgrading to the Elite payroll, would be to have that human verification to make sure that everything is going as smoothly as possible. Yep. But I know we're coming up at time. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today and providing all of this helpful information. I think that we had a really great session today, and so appreciate all of my presenters, actually, not just you, but thank you again for coming on, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it here. I just want to remind some of you folks that we do have additional resources available for you. Training and webinars, qbtrainingevents.com. Please check that out. If you are looking for free conferences, free webinars, they will be available there for you. Oh, and a PSA, I know I saw that there was an issue with the virtual conference link in the document, in the handout. We're working on fixing that. My apologies for you guys. We will get that figured out, hopefully, but you will be able to see that virtual conference at the qbtrainingevents.com site. So just a heads up, we're so sorry about that. We'll try to fix it. If you guys are interested in learning more about updates and staying up to date with all of the good stuff, firmofthefuture.com is another great resource for you, as well as your feedback in action. What do we do with the feedback you give us? It's a great article, talks a little bit about process and how that all works and things like that. Again, thank you guys so much for spending time with us today. We'll be back next month and we'll talk about some more new updates. So that's all we have for today. Thanks and take care.